Hi, and welcome to Dramatic Knits. My name is Steve, also known as Dramatic Knits.
And I'm Callie, also known as Casters.
And today is Sunday, May 24th, 2015. This is episode 211. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back one more week. We hope you enjoyed today's show. And if you're new, we really hope you enjoyed today's show and you'll come back in the future and visit us. So, yeah, it's another week. It's another week closer to summer vacation for me. Exciting. I'm getting a little taste of it this weekend with a 3-day weekend. I've got one more day left, and I've been able to do a lot of crafting this weekend, so I've got a 4-day week and a 3-day week, and I'm done. I'm out of there for 2 months. Didn't it always seem like 3 months when you were a kid?
Ours was 3, but we didn't. Our school district didn't take off any days for snow days. We walked uphill both ways.
Well, I'm excited because I think our calendar for next year, we've been delayed the last 2 years with the high school renovations that have been going on. So we've had extended winter breaks. Well, next year we're finally back to just 2 weeks, so we get out like May 20th. I'm like, that's what it used to be, not June 3rd.
Yeah.
Though, you know, the month-long and 3-week-long winter breaks were nice the past 2 years.
Yeah.
2 weeks will be good. You can just roll your eyes at me like Andy does all the time.
Yeah,
Don't be jealous.
Real nice.
Don't be jealous.
I mean, I'm sitting at 3 full weeks of vacation that I can take pretty much any time, but it's like, when do you find time? When we're busy all the time.
Yeah. Anyway, quick week in review. That was kind of it for me. I taught all week. It was a full work week, but essentially the seniors are done, so the seniors are out of the school. They graduate next weekend, but they're completely off this week. So they had their finals, their senior picnic, and awards night and everything. My honors kids, which is 3 of my 6 classes, are done. They turn in their final papers by tomorrow. So we're actually going to spend a couple days watching a movie. But it links up to our curriculum. Our whole theme for this year was on culture and cultural collisions. So one of my honors kids said, can we watch Avatar, the Blue People, based off the cartoon? And they said, you know, it's a really good movie about cultural collisions. So I said, it is. And so if administration walks in and says, why are you showing a movie the last week of school? I'll be like, well, we're studying the cultural collision within this form of text. And then my regular kids are doing their essays all this week, so.
No golden end to you.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the payoff for having to go at a slightly slower pace, and it's just the way things line up at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So, but that's pretty much been it, and having some fun in the Leading Men Fiber Arts studio. I'll talk a little bit about that towards the end of the show in Center Stage, but just a ZK prep, a lot of ZK prep. So Zombie Apocalypse is coming up in a month from today.
Yep.
It's crazy sauce. So that'll be good too, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in Center Stage because that particular stuff aligns with more of the business shop stuff. So your week?
So we recorded last Sunday. Monday I had our big civil rights review, and it went well. We got dinged on things that we anticipated being dinged on, so that wasn't bad, you know, knowing that ahead of time. And there wasn't really a whole lot of other comments. They said this was the fastest one they've done, because we had all of our ducks in a row, and that was good. Tuesday, I came down to your house, and we had dinner, and took the dogs on a long walk, and had dessert. That was good.
It was a good evening. I think we need to do it more often.
Yes.
I need to force Callie to take some evenings off.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday were kind of at work.
Neither here nor there.
Yeah. Stressful. That's what they were. Last night, my college friend Samantha and I went to Springfield, Illinois, and we went and saw one of our friends from college perform in the Hoagland theater. He was in Next to Normal. It's a play about mental illness, and it was really, really well done. The cast and crew were awesome, amazing voices. It's a musical, just really, really well done. And then afterwards, we went and, beforehand, we went out to eat and then went to the show, and then we went for drinks with our friend that was in the musical, and that was a lot of fun. Got caught up on a lot of things that are going on in our lives, and drank a little bit too much, possibly. And so I didn't get home until 2:30 this morning, and I waited up until Sam got home to her house because I wanted to make sure she didn't get hit by a deer or anything, or the deer hit her. So I didn't really get to bed till about 3:10 this morning, so it was quite a long evening, but it was good.
I'm glad you got out.
Yeah, it's not like I do this on the daily because I could not do it. I don't know what happened to my liver. That was in college, but it's no longer the same.
We never go out anymore, so sounds like an exciting night for us. Because, like I said last week, the biggest night we've had in a long time was going down to get some fair food on the square.
Well, and the bar that we were drinking at, Sam was like, oh, we've got to they have this drink special called Fred. And I was like, sure, like, no problem. As soon as it was, like, came out in the picture, I was like, oh my God, I know what this is. It's called a whole lot of different names and that kind of thing. I know it by a name that I can't repeat on the show. But I was like, oh no, poor choices were always made when you had this. And she was like, I don't know, because I'm 2 years older than Sam and a year older than Reggie. So I was like, we always called it something different, but it is what it is. And it was delicious.
Good. Well, let's get to the knitting. So, what's taking about this week? Nothing for me.
Nothing.
Doesn't mean we're failures, though.
No.
So, what's performing this week? The first thing has been a little bit of a standstill, but I finished the second shoulder sleeve. I don't know what you call it.
Front.
Well, it's not a front because I knit a front, but anyway, you can see from the Dickie-Doo down, it didn't need that much more. But I have to do a whole bunch of seaming and putting in up pleats, which I'm not really looking forward to. But it suggests blocking it, and I was like, I don't really need to do that. But I think it would be safe just to at least wet it out and kind of give it a soft blocking. So Callie borrowed my blocking board, so I'll be doing that maybe tomorrow. Maybe. But now that I've had a couple-day break from it, I'm kind of like, it's in no rush. But once I seam it and put in the pleats, I have to cast on a strip of cable work and kind of knit until it goes from the bottom to the center, and then do a second one and seam them on and graft them together. And I think that's it. But that's still a decent amount of work that has to go into it. So, we'll see. I just want it to be done. I am not doing another sweater for a long time for them. Not one that's not going to be mine, and I'm glad that they think so highly of my work that they want me to knit sweaters, but the second thing is and that was out of local alpaca. I'm doing it for the alpaca farm. Mill spun worsted weight, dyed in our royalty colorway on size 8, US 5mm. The second thing I'm working on are the show-off stranded socks by Ann Campbell, knit out of Into the World Gloucester, or Gloucester, is that it? Now I think about it too much. And Gloucester sock in the Inara colorway on size 1.5 1 US 2.25mm. I think, yeah, I went down because I'm getting 72 stitches on this. It's a 4-row repeat, and I want to say I'm 16 repeats in down the legs. So you can see from the Dickie-Doo, I have to do another 16 rows, 4 more repeats, and then I'll start the heel flap. It's going now. It's kind of a motoring along. Couldn't think of the word. But I only do about 8 rows at a time, and then I put it down. But is what it is. And the third thing is the OMG Squee Boomerang out of Leading Men Fiber Arts Show Stealer in the OMG Squee colorway on size 6 US 4mm. And here it is. You can see from the green Dicky-Doo right there to here is where I've knit. Doesn't look like a lot, but it's been a decent amount of knitting. I'm over halfway, if not 2/3 of the way through the ball, I'd say. I think it's fun. So, you can find my recipe for a boomerang shaped shawl in garter stitch on any of my boomerang project pages. I made sure to copy and paste in the recipe into all of my boomerang project pages so that no matter which one you pick, you can have the recipe. So that's that. And again, this was the prototype for OMG Squeeze, so there's white speckling in it. That is not the typical for OMG Squeeze anymore. The last thing I'm working on is the Neon Beast by Vera Valimaki. I'm using Madeline Tosh Merino Light in Dirty Panther, Edison Bulb, and Button Jar Blue on size 6 US 4mm. And this is going to be a beast. But
you've gotten a lot done on that since Tuesday.
I did a decent amount, and I'm less than halfway through the yellow section. So, ooh, that sunlight's catching that. There we go. It's quite neon, that Edison bulb. It's not as fluorescent as it's showing up on the camera, but yeah, this is like
true highlighter yellow.
Yes, this is only like 1/3 of the shawl, so it's gonna be quite big.
Does it come back to the blue then?
Yeah, it goes. I think it goes into the Dirty Panther, or no. I want to say it goes yellow into blue, and then blue into Dirty Panther again.
Okay.
Maybe. I think so. Yes. Yellow into the blue, but the blue is striped with the Dirty Panther. And then Dirty Panther. So.
Cool. I like it. I like Amy Beth's too.
Yeah, hers is very autumnal. Whereas this, I was like, well, I'm going to go for the title. So, I like how the colors are playing out. It's fun to see it a little farther back than when you're right on top of it. The short row work is fun. So, highly recommend the pattern. It's very simple and mindless. There's really not even any changing. It's kind of a 4-row differentiation. If you like the boomerang, this is very close. Just with some short rows, wraps, and turns, but you don't even have to pick them up because they're in garter, and it gives a fabulous effect. So,
cool.
If you're looking for something a little more substantial than my normal one-skein boomerang recipe, I suggest giving hers a try. And that's it for me.
Cool. I'm still working on the Jazzercise Your Way to My Heart, which is the sockhead hat pattern, free on Ravelry. And I'm using Jazzercise leggings in Showstopper, Leading Men Fiber Arts. And I'm using a size 3 US, which is a 3.25mm, and I think I'm getting pretty close to having it done, so that's bueno. And it's still striping, which I really do like that. And again, it's not necessary that you're going to get the same striping, with your gauge and whatnot, but mine is striping and I like it. Just making sure my yarn wasn't tied up in the dogs.
Just getting a little bit of yarn bark going on.
Yeah. My second project is basically a baby blanket that is done kind of in the style of the ball band dishcloth, if you're familiar with Mason-Dixon knits. And I'm using Barocco Vintage, just regular Barocco Vintage in various colorways. I don't have the ball bands with me, but it's white, kind of this magenta-y color, and kind of this dove gray purple. So my next color that I'll be going into, I believe, will be green. I'm thinking about adding a fourth with this blue that's kind of in the same color family value. So I'm not for sure with that, or if I'm just going to stick with the 3, but this is going pretty well. Once I kind of abandoned the original pattern that I was going to use, just going off of what the ball band dishcloth looks like, and kind of using their recipe has been very helpful, as well as there has been some fabulous project notes for the original baby blanket. They're like, just disregard this, do that, use this as kind of like your inspiration. So their notes have been really quite helpful. And when all is said and done with this pattern, I will put all of that information into my project page, because the notes that they use, they do a completely different border than what is used in the book, and I think it looks fabulous, and it makes it lay flat. Because if you've done a ball band dishcloth, like, depending on your gauge and depending on the yarn that you use, it tends to curl up. Like right now, you can see it's curling up on here because it is basically stockinette stitch, with some slip stitches on there.
And those slip stitches are also going to pull it in.
Yep. So the edging that they used is kind of a ribbed one. A little bit of a ribbed, and so I really like it, and I think it makes it look really nice. So I'm looking forward to that. It's a really easy pattern once you take all of that into consideration and just basically go with your gut and not go with the written directions. So I like it. And that's all that I'm knitting on right now. Actively, at least.
So what's in rehearsal this week? Like I said, I'm going to be starting a test knit eventually. I just have to wait on the designer to get me the pattern, but I know they're finishing up a few things, so that's totally fine. And that's all I have in rehearsal this week, yeah. Because I don't think I'm close enough to casting anything new on right this week.
Cool. Well, once I'm done with the sockhead hat, when we were at Knitting Pipeline Retreat, I put in a custom order with Sarah, another crafty girl, and she had quite a lot of custom orders at the event, and just with YarnCon. No, she wasn't at YarnCon, but just with different things. So my custom order is on its way, and I'm going to be casting on for a Lofty by Martina Bem once I'm done with my sockhead.
Can't wait to see that.
Yes. I'm basically doing Sarah's project. Like, Sarah had a sample, and I was like, I love that. I want it. So, I basically I'm copying Sarah because I want to be a cool kid.
She's good people.
Good people.
Alright, behind the scenes, my spinning. I don't have anything to show you this week because I started plying this morning my Three Waters Farm Targhee in the Spring in My Heart colorway, and I think it's going to be gorgeous. There's a lot of blue in it, so there's a lot of semi-solid tonal blue barber pulling going on, but then there's pops of coral and pink and this dark chartreuse, and the way I'm fractally spinning it is you'll get a little bit of that, but then I'll get a larger chunk of blue and then a little bit of pop of another color. So I'll be interested to see how it turns out. I'll show that to you next week. It'll be ready to go. And then next up on the wheel will be some more commission spinning. In the spotlight, what are we watching and reading? I have not watched a whole lot of TV. I've been very lucky in the fact that my leading man and my schedules have been fairly similar this week. So when he and I are off, he's usually downstairs watching TV, which is where the DVR is. So all my shows I haven't been able to watch. But I do plan on catching up on the series finale of The Following Tomorrow, as well as the next episode of Wayward Pines. I'm excited about that. I did watch a little more of The Killing. I think I'm close to the end of the second season. I watched that at lunch, only about 10-15 minutes a day, so it's not a whole lot. And I am reading still Some Girls Bite by Chloe Neal. I'm listening to it through Audible. It's what's the phrase I'm looking for? I'm warming up to the book. It's kind of a campy vampire novel, but it knows it's being campy. So, and of course it's a Chicagoland vampire series. This is the first book, but it's set in Chicago, so, I enjoy that. Is it the best writing? No. But it's fun, so that's going pretty well.
Cool. Well, like I had mentioned earlier, I went and saw Next to Normal. Again, fabulous. It was a great production. With that, when we were looking at the playbill, we noticed that so the Hoogland Center for the Performing Arts is really great. It has a lot of diversity in its programming. They do a lot of recitals there. They do a lot of plays, of course, different musical acts and that kind of thing. But their playbill has all of the local theaters in Springfield, all of their plays coming up for the summer. And there is a lot going on that I want to see. The Hoogland is doing Addams Family in August. The Muni is doing Mary Poppins, or they're doing West Side Story, Seussical, and two others that I can't remember.
Bloomington's doing Seussical.
Mm-hmm. And then that led to a discussion with Sam and I. We were talking about the community theater that you did some of your work in. They're doing Legally Blonde and a whole bunch of different other ones that I'm really excited about. So I think there's going to be a lot of live theater in my future for watching. So I'm very excited about that, and I'm going to drag you to a few of them because you need to get out.
I need to get and see more theater. Like I said, when I was in college, I used to see 30 to 40 productions a year, because I was immersed in it,
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, only the house. Do I have the money? No. And and sometimes they're amazing, and sometimes
Not so much.
So, it depends. Like, Springfield does some really good stuff, like the Muni, and they bring in some good people, and they have some high quality there. There's some community theaters where you don't get a lot of draw-in for a specific show, and you've got to cast who you can cast. Trust me. I know, I've been cast in a couple of them, so, but, so, it's just, sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's mediocre.
Reggie was telling me about some of the people they've got lined up, and I'm really excited about it because I've seen them in other productions. So I'm really excited. I think that's what I'm going to be doing a lot with my weekends. I say that now, and it might not hold up, but it is what it is. That's a goal of mine.
You should look at Little Theater on the Square in Sullivan. I know, and they hire their actors for the summer. They do a lot of summer stuff. So
cool. Yeah. Other than that, not much on TV that I've been totally watching.
So I do not have any stash enhancement.
I talked about mine. I'm getting 2 skeins from another crafty girl. It's her Twinkle base. Can't think of it right off the top of my head, but it's in Cloudy Skies, I believe. I could totally be making that up, but it's a dark gray color with sparkle. So I should have that tomorrow, or actually on Tuesday, so that's really fantastic. And I ordered some stitch markers that are made from polymer clay from a person on Etsy that I don't believe anyone that I've seen in podcasting world or on Instagram has ordered from, so I'd be excited to see how they turn out. So
sweet.
Yeah.
We have a magazine review for you, and the lovely people at Cooperative Press sent it to us for review, and we will be doing a giveaway for this. So it is a magazine that is, like I said, put out through Cooperative Press. So it's not, they do more than just books, and it's called Knit Edge. And this is issue 7 that they sent us. So they've been doing this for quite a while, and I was just looking it up. You can get the digital copy for $6.99 through Ravelry, and that comes with 7 patterns. And if you go to their website, which is knitedgemag.com, you can get a subscription, and you can order any of the back issues for $6.99, and then you can subscribe. Let's look in here. Oh, it's coming soon. It says Knit Edge is a new magazine from indie publisher Cooperative Press. PDF subscriptions available now in app subscriptions for iOS devices coming soon. So You can see a fun male rainbow sweater right there.
Fun.
Past or future
Issue.
Yeah. This is summer 2012, so it's been out for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time I've heard about it, so I was intrigued when they sent it to us. But this is... it's edited by... Who's it edited by?
I can't remember.
It says by Cooperative Press. Oh, bothers me. Hold on. It's the woman who does... Verdant Griffin. And... That bothers me. But anyway, there's 7 patterns. I'm pulling up the email so I don't make this on the website. So there's a variety in this issue from shawls, scarves, cowls, kind of a cowl, shoulder wrap, a hat, a men's scarf that I really liked, and some mitts. So there's a variety of things in here. My internet's being stupid, of course. And hopefully we didn't just pause in the recording because the camera did, but... So we're going to quickly go over all of the patterns because there's not a whole lot, but there's some big name designers. Anna Dalby, Shannon Oki, who of course runs Cooperative Press. I've had the pleasure of meeting her. She is a wonderful person. Jala Spiro I've heard of before. So quite a few different designers. That's not what I wanted.
I like every pattern in this. When I was looking at it for review, I really liked everything, which I think is kind of hard when you're looking at patterns or e-zines. Like, is it worth it to get it? But if you like, even if you like 1 or 2, it's totally worth it to get it because you would probably pay. You know, when you think about paying for a single Ravelry download, you're going to pay that much for just one pattern. So get the whole e-zine. Right,
and you're going to get all of the articles and things like that.
Which you wouldn't get if you just downloaded the single pattern.
Right, and I should have pulled that up. I was just pulling off of Ravelry. I was misspoken. It is... it's former dyer of Sanguine Griffin / Cephalopod Yarns. And doesn't give the name, Sarah, I don't know her last name, but she is the new editor of the magazine. So that's great because I know she had to get out of dyeing for some reason, and so she's still involved in the fiber arts community, which is awesome. So, like I said, there's a lot of articles and things in there that would be great. We're not going to go into too much detail on that, but I did want to show you the pattern. So the first one is the Brygvir shawl. I could be pronouncing that wrong. It's Byggvir by Anna Dalby. And it calls for fingering weight. It shows it in hazelnuts, piquant light, 400 to 800 yards. It has a small, medium, and large. So
I really liked this. I really loved the edging. I love the color, but I definitely love the edging for sure. I just think it's really nice.
And I like that little, and it could be styling, but I like that little drape right in the front, the way it's styled. And again, here's a close-up of the pattern in the back. So again, something nice that you can wrap around. And you know me, I'm not a huge fan of the huge things that I don't know how to wear. Again, I'm making the Neon Beast, but it might not be for me. But I did like that one a lot as well. The next pattern is Enclosed Point of View, and this is by Michael Dworgen, and it calls for Aaron Waite, Valley Yarns Amherst is what it was knit in originally, 436 to 654 yards, small, medium, and large. So again, there's a lot of sizes in these, which is really great. This is a intricately cabled scarf. Very intricately cabled. So if you're looking for a cabled piece. Sorry, the sunlight is messing with the screen, but there you go. And
I think when I looked up at first, I was like, I really like the cabling. It kind of reminds me of just like straight up winter garment. You know, like it's classic winter apparel.
I think all the designers had their photos done with them and submitted them, so I'm pretty sure that's the designer. And there's quite a few unisex patterns in this particular issue, which I liked. Like, obviously that scarf. I think this can be particularly unisex. This is Gradient, GREY-DIANT, excuse me, one N, by Shannon Oki, and this calls for fingering. She suggested wool to dye for a quarter round. And the Gradient is part of a special kit that will be available in the Cooperative Press booth at Maryland Sheep and Wool. So this was done especially for them. But it doesn't show a full picture, and I'm not sure why. But it's got some cabling and things with it.
Yeah.
Again, finding that right position with the iPad. Again, quite interesting choice in photography. I was wondering to see if they were going to add more photos to the update, or if they were going to update it, but would be interested to see. There's only 2 projects so far in that. Excuse me. Miles to Go by Jala Spiro is a wonderful gradient or progressive hat. I believe she's the owner of Knit Circus, which is a Chicagoland company. This calls for Knit Circus Calliope or Cabaret, fingering weight 200 to 230 yards, women's one size. And it's a lace hat. Boy, that sure doesn't look like fingering, though. But Knit Circus does do wonderful gradients and progressives. So it's got a little bit of lace, but it's nothing too holy that it's not going to keep your head warm. The next didn't completely catch my attention, but this is the Phoenix Flame Cowl. If it's worn as a cowl, it's okay, but they have the first picture shown in a more like a capelet over the shoulders. It calls for Blue Moon Fiber Arts BFL fingering, 400 yards, and it looks almost crocheted. And I think I actually looked to see if it was crocheted, to see if they were doing a mix of the fiber arts within the magazine. But again, as a cowl, I don't think it's that bad, and because it's so open work, it wouldn't be too warm. Like for me, I like to wear things to events and stuff. I don't really wear them much out of events, but sometimes I get really warm, especially in large meeting halls at retreats and things like that. So
I like it both. I like it as the capelet, and I like it as the cowl. Probably for me, I'd wear it more as a cowl, but I think that if you had the right kind of shoulder structure, I think it would look lovely as a capelet.
It is crochet. That explains it. The next one I really liked, and this is called Slope, and it's by Lars Rains, and it calls for Rowan Alpaca Chunky, a super bulky 300 to 308 yards. And it's a long infinity scarf, but the way it's done is really neat. So this is what it looks like in its ribbing. And you're like, okay, but I love the drape of it. If you look, it's done with increases and decreases so that it sits up around the neck with more warmth, but then you don't have so much bulk hanging down. And it does, it allows for that wonderful drape. And again, you can see it a little bit closer here. So you kind of get that double thickness around your neck. You can fold it over, and then it's not so much in your midsection adding bulk there, especially with a bulky yarn. But it would go relatively fast too.
Yeah.
It'd be a quick holiday or gift knitting.
Plus, I think those are kind of the things that are, at least in my group of friends, like the long infinity cowls are really like what a lot of my friends are asking for if they want me to knit them something or if they want me to sew them like infinity cowls from fabric. So I think like you said, quick gift knitting, great. Most people from the Midwest are gonna already have an arsenal of infinity cowls in their collection, but with that it's going to stand out because it's going to be more around your neck versus that bulk.
Right. The last pattern is the Woodworker's Mitts by Christina Bowers. This calls for Madeline Tosh DK, 185 yards to 225 yards. One size fits medium/large. And I have a skein of DK, but I've already attached a project to it. But I like the, sorry guys, the styling with the woodworking tools. I think, again, these could be very unisex. And they have a lovely cable detail. And some interesting other details in the cuffs and things like that. Might be able to see there if my camera will focus. There we go. So, that is our review of Knit Edge, put out through Cooperative Press. Again, this is the 7th issue. They've been around for quite a while, but they have a new editor, so it's going to bring on a fresh new take onto the magazine.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this. I'm hoping that they'll continue to send us the magazines as they come out for review, and that we can keep you guys up to date. And if you're interested in subscribing, definitely check out knitedgemag.com. And again, there's a plethora of other things besides the patterns in there. And
great articles.
Yeah, and there's things that you're going to take out from the magazine other than just the pattern as well. So we'd like to thank the people at Cooperative Press for sending that to us. We will do a giveaway of this magazine, this e-zine. You just have to tell us what pattern from the magazine you like the most, and possibly what yarn you might use for it.
Links would be appreciated.
Yeah, enable us, right? I always like to see what people are, what's trending.
Most definitely.
Besides leading men forwards, of course. So, you'll need to be a member of the group for that. 1 post per person. We'll draw for that before we record next Sunday, or while we're recording next Sunday. So you'll have 1 week to enter for that. So I don't think there's anything else I need to say about that. All right. So, a round of applause. I would like to thank Kimberly Sock Bunny of the Sock Bunny Studios podcast. She came out with a new pattern, and she sent me a copy of it, and it's called the Florida Memories Fair Isle Hat by Kimberly Pacini, P-A-C-I-N-I, and it's a $3 Ravelry download, and it's a worsted weight colorwork hat, and it calls for approximately 100 yards of 3 colors. Once you see the hat, you'll see that it doesn't probably call for that much of everything, but I think she was just playing it safe. But if you know Kimberly, she lives in Florida, she loves her Florida weather, and she loves her flamingos. So she designed this beautifully done colorwork hat with flamingos and hearts.
It's gorgeous.
And so, yeah, that says flamingos and hearts, but it's a little more subdued to the next one, which I kind of love. Waiting on the internet. I kind of love the 3 color with the pink flamingos, green grass, and blue sky.
That is really adorable.
So
I've seen a lot of these being knit on Instagram, and I think it's a fabulous pattern. A lot of people are having fun doing color choices.
So, thank you very much, Kimberly. Definitely check out our pattern. We will link it in our show notes, which can be found at dramaticknits.com. We have a lace knit along currently going on.
Yes. It started April 1, and it will finish June 30th.
Yes.
I was like, is that 30 days, not 31. It can be any type of lace used with any type of yarn base, as long as there's some knit two togethers, yarn overs. We're pretty easy going. The whole point of it is just to get you introduced to lace if you haven't done it before. We will have 2 prizes. You may enter your project twice if you use any base of Leading Men Fiber Arts, and we will pull for that, I believe June 30th is we'll do it after June 30th, that drawing.
The first recording in July.
Well, no, I was thinking, I thought that it ended up being on a Sunday, but it's not.
There were some questions on the thread. The thread originally had said June 1st, I think. Yeah, June 1st was the deadline. I changed that. It is through June 30th. So you have a whole nother month. Some people got really excited. And then after that,
we will be doing our sweater knit along. So here, one of the prize drawings that I have lined up after we do our lace one will be a sweater quantity. At least it was a sweater quantity for me, so that should be pretty much a sweater quantity for most folks. It may be some accessories for some plus sweater. So that will be coming out, and we will have some lovely prizes for that as well.
There will also be another sweater's worth from me in a yarn base that we decided not to carry, but I have 7 skeins sitting around that I want to get rid of. So it's 100% merino, and it's 7 skeins of 400 yards. It claims to be a sport. I'd say between a fingering and a sport. And Andy and I will dye it up to whatever color you would like. So that'll be another prize.
Yeah.
So we had some good prizes for the sweater knit along. So start thinking, start planning, start getting your yarn.
Start swatching if you want. Swatching won't count against you before the July 1 start date, because obviously we want you to have the most accurate information going on for your project. So if that means that you're going to have to adjust the number of skeins that you need to purchase, then do so, because there's nothing like running out of the one skein in the random, or having a random skein that doesn't match the dye lot, the original dye lot. So.
And as with all of our knit-alongs, if you use any base of Leading Men Fiber Arts, you get 2 entries into the drawing.
Yep.
So if you're looking for a sweater's worth of Leading Men Fiber Arts, always remember there's the custom order button at the top of our shop, leadingmenfiberarts.bigcartel.com, and you can tell us what base, what colorway, and quantity, and we can dye that up and get that out to you. So
yes.
Just be planning that out.
Yeah.
Alright, our Race to the Finished Object contest from May 2015 is going to be coming to a close soonly. Next Sunday is the last day of May, so I'm just putting it out there. We will probably close the thread when we record, just so we can pull and give prizes, and then I'll open it the June one a little early, so in case, you finish on a next Sunday night and you want to post. The June one you can post for June, and that'll be fine, but just so we don't have to wait a whole nother week. This month we have a Silver Shed USA bag, medium size, Dramatic Knits project bag. Mm-hmm. And then we have a pattern from our featured designer, who is Sarah Abram. She's Sarah Bear Crafts on Ravelry. I've linked to her projects. We've reviewed her ebook, Stormy Knits. Wonderful Chicago designer that we have the pleasure of working with. So,
she's got great patterns.
And she's adorable and tall.
Jealous. I mean, I have tall dreams.
So that's that. You must be a member of the group. Anything you finish in the month of May, it doesn't have to be started in May. You can post a picture. No matter what yarn you use, you only get 1 post per finished object, though. And you must be a member of the group. I think you said that.
Yep.
And yeah, it's all up in there. Just have fun. Alright, that's it for our regularly scheduled show. I'm going to go into center stage, which is all things leading men fiber arts. I'm not going to move quite yet. So.
I was going to say, you've got a dog behind you and in front of you.
They're all snuggled up. But at least I think our talking kind of lulls them to sleep, because they've been really good with us recording the past couple weeks, because half the time they're growling at each other, fighting over a toy. So center stage. I wanted to show you a new pattern that I was just brought to my attention. A crochet pattern featuring Leading Men Fiber Arts Ghost Light. And it is the, again, I'll probably be butchering this, Xylarium. It's Xylarium by KT Green. It's a crocheted scarf pattern using Leading Men Fiber Arts Ghost Light. And it retails for $4.99 on Ravelry. It takes one skein of Ghost Light, 820 to 870 yards, and it's 58 inches by 16 inches blocked. So
it's really gorgeous.
There's that. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. We're again trying to take up the screen so it'll focus, but also not get the glare. Is it going to focus? I'm not one of us. There we go. We gotta kind of cover up both our faces. And then that's it on a mannequin, and then she also has it kind of laid out so you can see the edging and the detail in the scarf, which is really nice. So definitely check that out if you're a crocheter as well. It looks pretty intricate, but I don't know, it might not be, it might be. I learned to crochet when I was little, and it stuck with me through high school, but it was just basic popcorn stitch was what I did a lot of. So that's that. So thank you, KT, for letting me know, and thank you for choosing Leading Men Fiber Arts. I really appreciate that. Alright, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We have the Thank You, Sarah, by Heidi Nick coupon codes. I've just started giving those to people who buy fingering weight. So if you place an order and you've got fingering weight, I've just started emailing you saying, hey, here's a free copy of this pattern, because I want to get those coupon codes out to people, and don't want to sit on them for too long. So Heidi was nice enough to donate those coupon codes, so I think I've got probably another 12 or so that I'll be giving out. So if you place an order with Leading Men Fiber Arts and you order any base of fingering weight, I'm going to give you a free copy. Alright, some other major news. I posted on Instagram this morning, Leading Men Fiber Arts got a new toy. So we decided when we made mini skeins for, YarnCon, that we have to ball up everything before we split them into mini skeins, and my arm was getting quite a workout. So we're like, well, maybe we should invest in an electric ball winder. And so, of course, when I looked into it, the first thing that pops up is Nancy's Knit Knacks electric ball winder, which everyone and their mother has probably heard of, because it's a very good product. So we made the decision and invested in one, and we got the top of the line. Didn't go cheap on it, but I'm really happy with it. I had to do a little tweaking with the with the tension and stuff this morning. It was having a bit of issues on a few things, but I hope I've got it figured out. They're not, sometimes they'll come out to be very pretty cakes, but they're not always, but they're flatter cakes, and they've got a much larger center that they sit on, but it's a wonderful tool, let me just tell you, in terms of saving me time. So I posted a little video of it working, but due to that, I also had a bright idea this morning. And we are going to be premiering gradient kits at Zombie Apocalypse. And again, these will be one of our specialty items like fiber, mini skeins, and sock blinks, which will also be premiering at ZK. We haven't started dyeing the sock blinks, but I'll talk about that in a second. But I had the bright idea of, hey, let's do some gradient kits. Rather than trying to make everything in one ball, which can be kind of crazy, people are willing to buy kits that are mini skeins set in a gradient. And what we did this morning, we did a London Fog gradient, and it's a true gradient, so it progresses from light to dark. And they're only going to be in our soliloquy base, so they're great for shawls, which come with 600 and, after splitting them up, it'll be about 650 yards. Each skein will be 30 grams, which is 130 yards, and you'll get 5 of them in the kit. So I'm really excited to be premiering those. We'll see how many we can get done before ZK. Because we just keep adding new things. We have bright ideas, and we're like, yeah, we need to dye those sock blanks. We bought sock blanks for ZK. We need to get on that, but we need to get on yarn too. We're fully stocked. Well, we're overflowing with yarn, but we want to be bringing the most we can, so you guys have the most amount of selection if you're going to be seeing us at one of our shows. So we're already to the hill. Speaking of the sock blanks, before I go there, I think I've made a decision that we're going to call our sock blanks Improv Sock Blanks, and they're all going to be one of a kind. And that's going to allow us to have fun and experiment without committing ourselves to a repeatable colorway. And personally, I think in the sock blanks that I've seen, those are the most fun ones. Those are the ones that draw your eyes, and those are the ones that you're like, how's this going to knit up? And that's the fun of sock blanks. You see it in a piece of knitted fabric, but once you add your knitting and your tension and circular knitting to it, it does some cool things. So we both just need to find the time and mental space to be like, okay, how are we going to approach this? What are we going to do? How are we going to... And again, they're one of a kind, so that makes it kind of fun in those respects. So those will be coming to ZK. We only have a limited quantity. I think there'll be 30 at ZK, so unless I steal one for myself. I mean, quality insurance, right? So, bringing all this product to ZK and to shows, we're already brimming out of 2 cars. So, we made the decision the other day that we probably need to look at getting a trailer. So, Friday we went to look at some. And I think on Tuesday we're probably going to be purchasing a trailer. And that's how we'll be rolling up to all of our future shows. Hopefully starting with ZK. We're hoping that we can do like Sun Valley Fibers. I've seen them do Into the World. We're hoping that we can get our grid walls on wheels and have set up everything prior to putting it in the trailer and package everything so that everything's already on the grid walls. All we have to do is roll them into the trailer, roll them out, roll them into the show, and take off the saran wrap, and we're good to go. Besides hanging up samples and signage and stuff like that. So, I'm really excited about this opportunity. It's an investment in the business, but, trailers are a lot cheaper than buying a van, which is what we were talking about years down the road. This is something we can do now. Andy will have to get a hitch put on his car, but I'm excited. And I'm excited to hopefully have it for ZK because Andy will be driving and I can hopefully try it before having to take it all the way to Tennessee by myself. So, it's a big one. It's going to be a 6x12 trailer, which is really 16 feet wide. I think we have enough room to fit it next to our garage. Pretty sure it'll work. But the one issue we need to test is if the grid walls on wheels will actually roll up and into the trailer, because the door space is actually slightly lower than 6 feet. So we can get 6 inches taller. We can make the trailer by 6-inch increments, but they would have to special order those, and that would take 4 to 5 weeks. So we don't really want to wait. So I don't know. We'll see. We also talked about just getting the trailer if it doesn't fit them on wheels and at least having the space and then just doing a normal setup. But I'm kind of excited about it. And it would make traveling to shows, if they're on wheels, it'd make it a lot easier for me. I could do shows by myself. But even not, it's nice to drive with your partner when going on long road trips. Kelly's a little saddened because we were supposed to drive to Minnesota together.
It's okay. It's okay.
But Kelly's mom is coming.
Yep.
So, at least she won't have to drive by herself. I told her I should probably drive with Andy just so I can try driving with the trailer on the trip there. It'll be interesting getting it to the parking garage. We're going to have to call a Kaler. Andy seems to think that you have to go all the way up to the roof on it. But it's kind of one of those spiral out type things. I'm like, okay. It'll also be interesting when we do a show in Chicago. I almost slipped up and said something, but can't talk about that one yet.
So that also means it depends if I will be in Nashville for SSK then, too. So,
yep.
We had kind of talked about it. We're going to see how ZK goes and then kind of go from there. Because, to be honest, for me to get the day off was really hard anyways, because we're going through a national civil rights audit. So, I was told I can still have the day off because I asked for it way before we knew it. But it also means that I have to be available by phone all day because they call everyone. So in terms of that, I don't know where I'll be when I get that phone call. I mean, I could be leaving Illinois. I could be pulling into Nashville. And it's really nerve-wracking because you really have to pull over and actually talk it through with them because it's really intense questioning. It takes about 15 minutes for each person. So if I can be at work, the better. That's not to say that I wouldn't want to go to Nashville. I really do, and I really want to see everyone. But I also, this is not my choice in terms of,
work situations. And we'll see, because if it's all set up, I won't really need her. But even if we have the trailer to where we still need to set everything up, I will probably go back to our original plan, only so that I don't have to take the trailer by myself all the way to Tennessee, and then we can still split the load up between our two cars.
It really just depends. I mean, I'm willing to go. I already told my boss, I said, I'm not going to be answering the phone if I am in rush hour. I'm not going to be answering the phone if I am eating or if I am at a rest stop. And I said, I'm not going to answer it in case if I'm going to get kidnapped either. So,
why would you get kidnapped?
At the rest stop? I mean, there's some shady ones.
Right. So, dogs, you gotta move.
Corn Dog is, literally when he lays down for a nap, it's, sprawled.
Yep. He's gonna learn to move, though.
And he's doing the belly signal.
I just had to push him with the bin. We updated a lot this week. I think every day we've updated something. But we've had a lot of stock going in. We're almost full up in the shop, which means then we're going to be doing back stock for the show. So that's all fun stuff. Alright, so I'm going to go through this quickly because there's a lot here and we're already at an hour. But on callback, we have Poseidon. We also have a skein of... what's this new one? Dreamweaver. Sorry. This is on callback as well. Showstopper. We put up Apocalypse last night. Callback. Citrus Splash. It is not that orange. It's lighter.
It's more of a creamsicle.
Right. It's one you really need to see in person. Spotlight, we have the Grouch. I also have this up in Soliloquy. Yeah. Orange You Jealous I have on Spotlight. I also have it up on Soliloquy and Box Office. It's a rich orange.
Mm-hmm.
We have some Foliage in Showstopper. We also have it in Show Stealer. Some Shadows in the Trees on Dramaturg. Dames at Sea, we put this up in everything. Show Stealer, Box Office, Soliloquy, and Spotlight.
Except for the one that I wanted.
Yeah. Yep. She wanted it on DK. I was like, well, I can buy it up. I just don't have it ready. We have some Dippin' Sauce on Dramaturg. And again, this is a little paler than what it was originally. Again, dye lots in yarn is affected also by dye lots in our dye themselves. So, on Box Office, our worsted weight, we have Perfection. On Dramaturg, we have Poison Apple. DK as well, we have Country Road. Box Office, we have Tranquil. We haven't done this one in a while. Dramaturg, we have Glacial. I know we also just dyed up some on Showstopper today, so that'll be coming up in the shop soon. If there's room. Like I said, we're almost full up in the shop. And I've got to keep room for next... we should have brought it up. Next month's colorway of the month. Callie's seen it. I like it. It's pretty. But Andy came up with it, and he needs to dye it up. And he's like, I got a week. He did the test scan. I'm like, you need to get it done up on every base. We have Smoky Quartz on Soliloquy. I also think we're going to have it up in Spotlight. I think I put it up in Show Stealer, too. Spotlight, this is a new colorway. I thought I showed this one. This is a new colorway. It's called Old Blue Eyes. And it's a very pale blue. I'm kind of in love with it. On Callback, we have Sucker Punch. Told you there's a lot, guys. Dramaturg, we have Poseidon as well. A little more tonal on that one. We have a lot of Sandcastle on Show Stealer. I think there's 6 games in the shop. A new colorway, our last new one for our semi-solid series this season. On Show Stealer, we have Sunny Side Up. So it's a little more, it's a brighter yellow, but it's not, if you remember Angel Hair, which we discontinued, which was kind of...
Really bright yellow.
Yeah, it was really bright yellow. This is more of everyday yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what we wanted. I think originally we're like, wow, that's kind of yellow when we first did Angel Hair. On Showstopper, we have Seaweed. It's always a favorite. On Box Office, we have Eternal Kiss. I swear I'm almost done, like 5 more skins. Dramaturg, we have Royalty. Again, you've probably seen this every week, huh? Dramaturg, we have Metamorphosis, so a lot of DK this week.
Just not on the color I want.
Yeah, and we're getting low on stock on DK. We got some more coming in, I think. We just placed an order. Showstopper, we have Thus With a Kiss I Die. And then Showstopper, we have Let's Hear It for the Girls with 3 L's. And then last but not least, we have some Copper Cloud on Showcase. One random skein of Showcase.
Amy Beth in her last podcast, I don't think it was this week, I think it was last week, she was wearing a hat that she finished out of Copper Cloud.
It's her beeswax hat that she knit out of her DK base. So it is beautiful, and it's a beautiful hat. So that's everything that went up in their shop this week. So now it's like, keep dying, but the shop is full, but we need back stock. So we are trying to have full grid walls, y'all, at these shows. Like, think double what we've ever had before. We're like, we can fit double the amount of yarn. So we're trying to go full on. So it's exciting. So definitely check out the shop, leadingmenfiberarts.bigcartel.com. Please like our Facebook page and follow me on Instagram as Leading Men Fiber Arts. Those are the best 2 places to be up to date when we update. It's most nights, usually between 8 and 9. But those are the best places for that. And you can join the Ravelry group for Leading Men Fiber Arts. We'd love it if you'd join the Ravelry group for Dramatic Knits. It's Dramatic Knits, one word, video podcast group. You can follow us on YouTube or iTunes. You can subscribe either place. Also, you can find all the show notes and everything at dramaticknits.com. So until next week,
We hope you
knit something dramatic.